Hey YouTube, this is Bonnie from Dragon Soap. Welcome to another soap and adventure. Today we are going to make oatmeal milk and honey. So I'm using the oatmeal milk and honey, the Sibylla version from Brambleberry. And I've got my liquid oils in the pot already, and I'm getting ready to add my melted coconut oil and cocoa butter. Okay, now I will stir those up a bit. Hold on. There we go. Get the oils thoroughly mixed together, and I've got colloidal oatmeal and honey powder. Let's get that mixed in. We want to make sure it mixes in really well. Got some air in there. Look like they are mixed very well. Almost perfect. Let's make it perfect, shall we? Now this fragrance oil set up on me pretty quickly last time, so I'm only going to do a layer. It also discolored to a nice tan color. I swirled in some gold mica, but it was really hard to see the gold mica in the tan background. So this time I'm going to pour off some and put the mica in it, and the rest of it I'm going to add some titanium dioxide to whiten it up a bit. So that should be good. And then I'm just going to do layers this time. I'm going to do funky layers. I like my funky layers. Do those funky layers sober. Oh, no, never mind. Forget that. Now you know why I don't sing in public. This is the cream and the sodium hydroxide. No, it's not the sodium hydroxide. It's the cream and the sodium lactate and the silk and the fragrance oil. You can see it's already discoloring and I don't even have the since it set up so fast on me last time. I'm going to mix everything into the oils really well, and then I'm not going to mix it all the way to trace. I'm just going to mix it with the lye until it's really well emulsified. And I just realized I've got the mica still sitting in the container, but I don't have it dispersed in anything. Okay, let's take a half a teaspoon. You know, half a teaspoon is kind of a, this is one of those ingredients where if it were critical to get the right amount, I would have to weigh it, because a half a teaspoon is not always a half a teaspoon. You can pack this mica down in here pretty well. It's like brown sugar, you know, do you put it in loosely or do you pack it in really well? And the only way to get the exact same amount is to weigh it. But the amount of mica isn't critical, it's a personal preference, so it's not a big deal. If I get a little more one time than another, it doesn't matter. And I'm putting a little bit of olive oil. it in, oops, well, I'm making a mess, huh? I like to make a mess. As you can see, it disperses in the olive oil really well. The problem with these cups, though, is that you can't set it down with the spoon in it. The spoon's too heavy. I got a plastic spoon and tried it, and it was too heavy, too. I don't want to get mica where I don't want it, so we'll clean that up a bit. Okay, so I've got mica ready to go in the colored part. And I've got everything except the lye and the titanium dioxide. So let's put my gloves back on. Safety, safety, safety. Back. And give this a little more. I really like this new stick blender I bought. It doesn't, it's quieter than the old one I had, and it doesn't put in all the little air bubbles the other one did. So, lye. Okay, here we go. Oh, that smells good. I tried an oatmeal milk and honey a few years ago from a different vendor and didn't like it. It was too spicy. This has a little bit of spice in it, but not much. More, I mean, oatmeal milk and honey. It's like a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast, right? And I often put in a little bit of cinnamon in my oatmeal. I like oatmeal. So, titanium dioxide. So this is really like a bowl of cereal. Let's see how that does. Well, this is stop that. This is behaving really well. I put it, yeah, I did put in the lye. Okay. Let's make sure we get all that gold goodness. Well, shoot. It's being very well behaved this time, isn't it? Oops. Let my stick blender cool a bit. I used a different technique for lining my wooden mold than I normally do, and it worked out, oh my gosh, it worked out so much better than normal. I watched a video. Someone in the Melt and Pour Facebook group shared the link for this video on how this lady does it. And I'll share the link down below in the description of this because it was so much faster. I was an engineering student in college, and so I took technical, this was in the day before we had a lot of computers. Technical drawing was with, you know, a couple of triangles and a compass and all that stuff. And so when I started doing lining molds, I would get out the triangle and the straight edge and measure everything out and do the creases and trim off the extra and all that stuff. Took me a long time. So when I saw this lady's technique, and she doesn't do any of that, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so much faster. She uses little buttons on the side of sticky, it's almost like clay, but it's stickier, mounting stuff, I think, and I don't have any of that, so I wasn't able to do that part of it, but oh my gosh, still, it was so much easier to do it than I had been doing it. This is not going to be really white. It's going to be probably a beige or a light tan. And then it'll have a gold layer and then gold on top. So the question is, why did it accelerate trace the first time I used it, but not this time? I'm thinking I might have used palm kernel oil in the last bunch. And I always have a problem with things thickening up when I use palm kernel oil. I think it's because I soap at too cool of temperatures and the palm kernel oil tries to re-solidify. So next time I use it, I will soap at warmer temperatures. Of course, this has cocoa butter, and that has a really high melting point, but there's only a couple ounces of cocoa butter, so. Oh, this is getting nice and thick. So, all we have to do is get this nice and thick. Actually, I'm going to let it sit. Often soap will set up better if you're not moving it. Okay. One of the kittens is sitting there just staring at me, just sitting as just a perfect little statue. You're just so cute. You stay back. Yes, you're adorable. I decided to keep all 4 kittens. The Humane Society didn't really have room for them, and I couldn't resist their charms. My cat that I've had for years is not happy about it. They keep trying to get him to play. They keep batting at him, and he's Well, he's only 13 years old, so he's got a lot of years left in him, but he's getting to be kind of a couch potato. And then the other stray cat that I took in, I have no idea how old he is. He's a neutered male, and he's been declawed, so I was very glad to get him out of. He wouldn't have been able to defend himself against a coyote or bobcat or dog or anything, so I was very glad to take him in. And he's really a couch potato. He really likes his nap time, and he really doesn't appreciate kittens coming up and trying to play with him. See, this is still not quite thick enough. But that's good because, or maybe it is thick enough. Look at this. This is nice. Some for the top. I've noticed that many of the soapers I watch on YouTube are much neater than I am. They clean all the drips off the freezer paper on the edges and everything, and I'm much more laid back. Uh-oh. I didn't want white dollops in the middle of the gold. Or not white, but cream colored. Okay, let's get the rest of the white here. Ugh. Boy, I just love this creamy stuff, don't you? Just looks like something you could eat. Something sweet and rich and creamy. Something I would like a lot. One fragrance oil I'm going to be testing soon is, NCP, is sweet potato and brown sugar. It smells like a sweet potato pie fragrance oil that Nature's Garden had for candles. It was not skin safe, but now they've come out with a version that's skin safe, and it is called sweet potato and brown sugar. And I've never had sweet potato pie, but oh my gosh, that smells so good. It's rich and buttery and brown sugary and a little bit of spice. It's just... So I got online and I looked for sweet potato recipes because I thought if sweet potato pie tastes like that smells, I'm all over it. So I will have to try one of those recipes out. There were several, and they had some differences. I'm going with one that has a brown sugar in it because I smell brown sugar in that FO and it smells awesome. Okay, now a little bit of gold on the top, and then we'll do some texturing stuff. Okay, clean spoon. I want a smaller spoon. Okay. It might still be just a little bit thick for that. I always seem to get more down here than here. I think it's the way I do that. Maybe it's still just not quite thick enough. Come on, thicken up. God only knows what they're into over there. As long as they're away from the soap, right? Okay. There's still a little more on this side. Maybe I should do both sides together. There, and there, and then 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 there. There, and there, and there, and there. The funny thing is, it seems like the more I like the top in the mold, the less I like it once I cut the bars. If I do really good whoop-de-doos in here, sometimes it just looks funny in cut bars. Of course, I'm turning the colors into mud here. Now there's more on that side. Okay, I'm going to put some, take my goggles off because I can't see out of them anymore. Put some sugar sprinkles. Last time I did these, they pretty much all fell out as I was cutting the soap, so this time I'm holding them up a little higher so they stick to the soap a little better, hopefully. Sink in a little bit. Okay, that ought to do the sugar sprinkles. Oh great, now they're all over the floor. And glitter, glitter. Let's take a look. Ooh. Okay, and there we have it. Oatmeal Milk and Honey, the Sibylla version from Brambleberry. Thanks for watching. Bye.